Hi and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a reading that is not time specific. It's a general reading. If you felt intuitively guided to click on this video, then you could find some helpful insight here. What we're looking at here is a general reading for what the hell is going on. So I've pulled cards from a few of my different decks here, and so starting from here, the Morgan Greer deck, I've pulled a card for Where Am I Now? From the Aquarian Tarot, we have What Challenges Do I Face? From the Rider-Waite, we have What Resources Can I Use? From the Spolia deck, we have What Are the Hidden Forces? From the the Voyager deck here, we have What is the Potential Outcome? And I've pulled a rune for What is the Spiritual Lesson? So let's get started. So number one, we have the Ten of Pentacles. This is describing where you are now. So I guess we're looking at family issues, financial issues potentially. Actually, let's pull all the cards so we can get the full picture at once. All right. Okay. So where am I now and what challenges do I face? Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. What resources can I use? Page of Cups reversed. Hidden Forces is the King of Pentacles in reverse. Spiritual lesson is from the runes. We have Thurusaz, which can be a conflict energy actually. And then for the potential outcome, we have the Five of Swords in reverse here. So what I'm getting from these cards here is that you could be having a family conflict. There could be some issues at home. There could be some issues with regard to finances in the home, or there could simply be issues with regard to independence. There could be some issues with independence. There could be some issues with, if there is some issues with an inheritance, that could be an issue here, because you have the King of Pentacles here in reverse as the hidden force. So more than it could be something to do with inheritance or assets, but what I'm feeling more with this energy is that you could be dealing with a father figure, or the head of the family, or the person who's kind of in charge of things might be a little bit miserly. They could be a little bit tyrannical. They might be a bit controlling. They might be not necessarily so. I mean, if you're in a situation where you're financially dependent on the household, on the head of the household, there could be some tension here with that. There could be some like you could be feeling a little bit under the control of this person. Yeah, so what challenges you face here is this, the Queen of Swords here. I'm feeling like the energy of that card is bringing stoicism to this spread, but also I feel like there's a need for you to be very wise and a little bit detached in the situation, to communicate very carefully, especially because you have the Five of Swords as well in your reading. This is the potential outcome of the spread. This card is representing the challenges you face. So I feel that you need to be careful about how you communicate, but that you need to be honest. The Queen of Swords is representing like stone cold truth. But because of the other cards and the context and the placement of them, I feel that there's a need for you to be very careful about how you communicate. And even though you know the truth and you have the truth and you want to share it, with the Five of Swords here in reverse and this Thurusaz rune here, which is talking about conflict, I feel like you need to be very careful to not offend or upset people, because that will have the opposite effect of what you're trying to achieve when you communicate the truth. What else is here? So this card here from the Rider-Waite deck represents What Resources Can I Use? And it's interesting that Page of Cups is there in reverse. So the pages are about communication. The cups are about emotions, creativity, love. So what I'm feeling with this is that it's almost like, for some people watching this reading, I feel that the lesson here, or that the teaching, is that perhaps what you may need to understand, or what you may need to decide, or what you may need to realize, is that you might need to retract your offer of love from this person. Like if you're the Queen of Swords and you're dealing with the King of Pentacles, and this King of Pentacles is in reverse, this Ten of Pentacles is the issue, the main issue. That's where you are now. So this could be, and if the Five of Swords is here with this conflict card, it could be that you might be in a situation where you're dealing with a person where negotiation is not possible. You could be dealing with a person who is not willing to listen, who doesn't want to communicate, who has a very fixed stand, is rather maybe cold and unemotional. And this here could be you know, your higher self is potentially guiding you here towards, you know, emotionally detaching or withdrawing from a person. That's interesting. I'm going to get some more info on this rune here. So what it says here is that I haven't used my runes for a long time. I'm just coming back to them after about 20 years. So forgive me for needing to read up on these. But it says here that Turusas, which represents a thorn or a giant, is a reactive force, directed force of destruction and defense, conflict, instinctual will, vital eroticism, regenerative catalyst, a tendency towards change, catharsis, purging, cleansing fire, male sexuality, and fertilization. So, you know, as I said, in the context of the other cards here in the spread, I feel like this King of Pentacles could be the person that you are dealing with, and they could be that male energy that was just described there by the rune. So, and yeah, this Five of Swords here in reverse is a little disconcerting to me with this conflict energy. I feel like there could be, as I said, a difficulty in negotiation. There could be an inability to communicate. Even though you're here ready to communicate as the Queen of Swords, in this spread, this position is what your challenge is. So while you might be ready to communicate, you might have your truth very clear and present and evident in your mind, and you might be really ready and available to speak that truth. There is somehow a blockage, and that communication is maybe unable to be shared, or will fall on deaf ears, or will be landing in the hands of someone who has a tendency towards defensiveness and conflict. Both of these cards have that energy. And even the King of Pentacles here in reverse, I feel, is someone that is not receptive to ideas, receptive to other people. I feel like there's a masculine power that's out of balance here. A masculine energy that's a little bit out of power, out of balance, like it's not secure. This person may not be secure in themselves. They could be insecure, and they may be trying to have some kind of power trip in the situation that is leaving you feeling like you're unable to make any movement, you're unable to communicate, you may be unable to offer any type of apology or even forgiveness to this person, because they're in this position where there's like a lack of receptivity or a lack of openness towards you. Yeah, the potential outcome here is this Five of Crystals in reverse. It does feel like there isn't really energy here for communication or for negotiation. There is a lack of clarity with this person. There is an inability to speak your mind and share your feelings and thoughts. And you may be feeling a little bit like you're under the thumb of their dominating, power, hungry, almost tyrannical energy here. I feel like that's it for this reading, friends. I'm just going to double check over here. It's a short and sweet one, just for a little insight on your situation. Going to look at that rune one more time. Yeah, there's definitely defensiveness I feel here. Like a person could be tormented, or a person could be They may not be evil necessarily, but there's sort of a, I'm picking up on some, like, maybe an addiction. Like, this person you're dealing with could be an addict, and they might have some kind of issues that you may wish to help them with because you have love and compassion, but they may not be open to you. They may not be willing to admit that they have an issue. That's what I feel here. So as far as the actual reading goes here, is the potential outcome or the lesson here, I feel with this Page of Cups in reverse here that you could be like, your compassion and love and desire to help heal and nurture a person could be falling on deaf ears. So I suspect that your next move here ought to be the decision on whether or not to continue to try to assist this person, knowing that they may not be in a place where they're actually ready to start their own healing process. Or are you going to choose to take care of yourself and nurture the self and remove yourself from a toxic environment where your energy is unappreciated? Okay, friends, I'm going to close this reading up here. I hope you found some insight in there. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I will see you in the next reading.